The media is constantly putting a negative spin on statistics because it supports the general consensus of the public. Humans seek out news of dramatic negative events. These experts say that our brains evolved in a hunter-gatherer environment where anything novel or dramatic had to be attended to immediately for survival. Many studies have shown that we care more about the threat of bad things than we do about the prospect of good things. Our negative brain tripwires are far more sensitive than our positive triggers. Due to our brains being hardwired in such a way, it is understandable that people will latch onto negative aspects of life, technology for instance, because in the past it has helped us to survive. In the case of technology, however, it is harming us to only listen to negative opinion because it is preventing us from using technology in a way that actually benefits us. Technology is good for the human mind, however, the media focuses mainly on the negative effects because it has more viewer appeal. 42% of Americans agree that in 2020, young technology users will have a major cognitive problem, including an inability to focus, lack of long-term foresight, and limited critical thinking ability. While this statistic may not be shocking to many, as the majority of the public has taken on a negative view of technology, what should be shocking is the source of the statistic. Notice the statistic is derived from Americans, not doctors, researchers, or even experts on technology. To base our assumptions and decisions in relation to technology use in our daily lives solely to a group of Americans does not seem to be appropriate, as the majority of American citizens don't truly understand the effects of technology and what it has on the human mind. One article states, among young adults, Facebook overuse was also associated with antisocial personality disorder, bipolar disorder, and sadistic, passive-aggressive, borderline, paranoid, and somatoform personality disorders. This study also explored the strength of Facebook as a predictor of these psychiatric disorders and found that, even when demographics such as age, gender, median income, ethnicity, and education were controlled, Facebook use was one of the 3 strongest predictors. While this study has evidence that supports an association with these disorders, it simply argues that the study explored the idea that Facebook could be used as a predictor of these disorders. Once again, we see the media placing a negative twist on information pertaining to technology in order to better appeal to the general public. A study conducted by Rosen et al. Concluded something contrary to public belief in a study that analyzed the effects of Facebook. One result of note is the positive impact of having more friends on diminished signs of major depression and dysthymia. What is it about having more friends on a social network that can ameliorate signs of depression? Is it the fact that there is always someone to talk to when you are feeling down and need empathy and understanding? If so, this would suggest that the ability to be empathetic can be actualized in either a face-to-face environment or a virtual environment. This most certainly supports the psychological value of social networking and electronic connection. While so many Americans believe that Facebook may actually be causing these psychiatric disorders, if one were to actually conduct a study, the way that Rosen et al. Did, the public may be surprised. However, due to our wiring, holding on to these positive statistics may be more difficult. Regardless, this is just one instance of technology directly contradicting a popularly held belief about technology. The same article mentioned above regarding the negative effects of technology also stated, an analysis of 15 studies found that increased media exposure, including television, movies, video games, and the internet, was associated with violent behavior and isolation. It reported that children who watched violent shows were not only more likely to be aggressive, but also to have fewer friends and to be more secluded socially. While there is evidence that supports this finding, there is even stronger evidence that disputes it. At the same time, technology can be a valuable tool in preventing youth violence because young people, for the most part, are comfortable using technology. Technology-based interventions have been used to address similar issues such as health promotion and substance abuse prevention. Indeed, another computer-based violence prevention program, Smart Talk, Students Managing Anger Resolution Together, was well received by the target population, and participants demonstrated improved knowledge and practice of pro-social behaviors. Marshall et al. Proved that technology can actually be used as a tool to end violence and spread pro-social behaviors that keep youth away from violent activity. Though this may be true, the media continuously focuses on the violence within our society and the effects that technology may or may not have. If we took this effort and aimed it at coming up with technological programs that focus on moving people away from violence, we may be able to eliminate a large portion of violent behavior in our society. Another popular misconception is the way that technology influences multitasking. Heavy multitaskers actually have more trouble focusing and shutting out irrelevant information, scientists say, and they experience more stress, claims a New York Times article. Other evidence states otherwise. In fact, one study uses a form of technology that is constantly under fire to prove the statement false. Indeed, there is certainly considerable evidence in the literature that action gameplay enhances various aspects of attention, including selective attention over space and time, and attention to objects. You heard correctly, video games may actually improve attention skills. Even further, the ability to focus attention on a target and ignore distracting information is the essence of selective attention. Correspondingly, action gameplay results in more effective localization of a target, whether presented in isolation as in Goldman perimetry or amongst distracting, irrelevant information. In essence, video games may actually improve the ability to dismiss distracting factors when trying to focus on a specific task. But why don't we see any of these findings in the news, or on the radio, or even in our classrooms? The more we allow ourselves to fall into a habit of only focusing on negative information, while it may be difficult to avoid, the more we will lose out on the opportunities presented to us by technology as well as a variety of other societal tools. Technology is not the problem. We are.